Okay, what do we do after entering the software? First, the first thing we need to do is select the IP address of our box to connect. The IP address is here. Then we can see a line of green text, which represents the status of our box connection. Green indicates that it is online, while red indicates that the box is offline. If we have no information here, it means that the box has not connected successfully and you may need to check the connections. It only shows, for example, a box will display a line of text, and only when it shows this information does it indicate that the connection was successful. Then, here, after successfully connecting the box's IP address, we need to click on the preview button. In this interface, we need to click on Auto Create before enabling the laser, and then we click Confirm. Now that we have auto created, we can select some materials, and we can see them here. Additionally, there is a preview interface displaying the preview. Then we need to turn on the button to enable the laser. After turning it on, we are now in a normal light emission state. Now I will introduce some basic functions of the software. In the upper left corner of the software, there is a file option. First, we have a save option, or we can create a new file. This new file refers to creating a new show file. Next, we have a save button. This save refers to saving items, not our material, files. These material files are saved in real time, so there is no need for us to save them directly in the software. This save refers to saving some of the settings, parameters in our preview, for example, what I'm doing now. Save this shore's name as left. Then there is a setting for light speed attenuation that can also be saved here. Set it to this situation at 0%, 0%. In other words, this area will avoid light. This is to confirm that we can see the current preview situation. The area in the middle does not emit light. The area in the middle does not emit light, and we have also saved the name of this show. This left, then we can, let's see if we can save successfully. Let's save it first. TXT. 3, I will save it first. Let's change this parameter to 1,1 and then remove this light brush. Now let's check if we can save successfully. When we open it, oh, I have removed it. And now this name has also changed to 1,1. Now let's reopen the file we just saved. Hey San. Alright, we open it and can see that these parameters can all be saved normally. This means that the file saves the preview interface. Double click to enter these parameters. What is saved are the parameters of this page interface. It does not save the material file. Then continue to look further. There is a save as option, which means I can save to a location of my choice. I won't go into detail about that. Then there is a scan material file function, which I will explain in the next video, specifically how to open these material files. Directory scanning refers to scanning material files according to the predefined directories we have set for these images. Then there is the creation of an independent database. This function refers to when we use the short power product in the software. If I need to operate offline, for example, if I want to operate this page's material while offline, I would delete the other materials and keep only this page, and then I would give it click to create this database, and it will generate a file which we will copy to the SD card, the one that is sorted out. Well, the shuttle will perform a self-generation based on the materials we input. All right, now let's take a look at the laser light section. Here we have a new construction, which means we are creating a new preview interface on the right side. Here we can see a veterinarian, but this is actually virtual because we are currently only connected to one box. The hand we just created is virtual, but it can still be displayed. Let's turn this off for now. Well, now it looks normal. Then, the new introduction below is a connection address for the antenna, which we need when connecting to the control console. This will be mentioned in our instructional video for the control console. The function of connecting and disconnecting DNS Pro, including the button below, is used when connecting our external devices. Oh, updating the LaserLight software demonstration. This function refers to the times when we need to update the firmware, which requires this function. Here, we can use the virtual LaserLight. Click in to add a virtual LaserLight. We have added one, and now let's take a look. Here we have successfully added a virtual LaserLight. Originally, there was only one. Now we will automatically create it here. This one is a file for the virtual LaserLight, and it can also be controlled normally. In other words, in the preview interface, we can normally see the effects of the virtual LaserLight. This is beneficial as you may use more virtual machines in your programming later, so just take a look at the effects. For example, I can add 2 more. I currently have 3 devices, and the 2 below are virtual. I will create them automatically. 3 effects have been generated. When you are programming, you can see more virtual laser lights in the viewing interface to check this effect. Okay, next we look at the tools here. The ADA file viewer is used to check how many points and frames our ADA material files have. We can import an ADA file to see the status of this material, and then the next one is the DS Pro configurator. When he goes in, he will see that if you have the DNS Pro connection device, it can be refreshed here and selected. Then the ArtNet DNS data indicates that if I am connected and if the signal with the control console is established, there will be a display of our data interaction here. Oh, here is an effect editor where you can edit some effects. Let me demonstrate for you. For example, I will create a zoom effect and give it a name. From 0 to 100. Oh, a linear increase. Set the beat number to 30. Okay, then I will save this effect. The effect will change. In the editor, we have created this playback style. When we click on it, we can see that it has a zoom effect, which enlarges from small to large. As we are using a linear increase, we can look for a more obvious one. Let's find a logo for him. From childhood to adulthood, when this effect is cancelled, it becomes a fixed size. If we click the effect, again, we can see that this is an editing effect, a tool. There are many effects here, such as brightness effects, zoom effects, horizontal effects, and so on, which can be saved in our effects section. Then we can edit, delete, or add to them. Oh, the next one is our Q editor for everyone. Look at this. After we click in, it will jump to an interface of my Q editor. This new, one of the highlights of our software, is that we have integrated the new Q editor. In another tutorial video, the functions of this Q editor will be introduced in detail. Next, we have the editing of autoplay scripts. This is related to the creation of the database mentioned earlier, which we can open. Well, it actually involves the playback time of a material in an automated file. This means the playback duration and the end playback time, that is, how many seconds to play and how many seconds to pause for this file's settings. We can set an automated playback time for each material, which also requires the use of short power. Well, this is a feature that will be used. In the column on the right, there is a language setting, and our language settings can be changed in real time, allowing for instant switching. Next, we have a help section, which introduces our software version. We can see that our software version is currently 3.3.2.1. Now, let's look at the features in the next column. It is very obvious that this is a page turning function for the previous and next pages. Then, this is to enable the laser. When we select a material, we need to complete this effect first. When we select a specific material, we must enable the laser for it to function properly. Oh, this is a button that connects to the attorney. Only after we select it will we connect the signal to the console. This is a single selection. A single selection means I can select one material. When selecting multiple materials, we can play them together. Now, 3 materials can play simultaneously, with a maximum of 3 materials playing at the same time. For example, if I first select a circle and then select another one, these materials will play at the same time. For single selection, only one can be chosen. The meaning of selection playback is that my current mode is selection playback, where I play whichever I select. Whatever I choose will play instantly. This means that if I press and hold the left mouse button, it will play, and when I release it, it will stop playing. Tap it once and it lights up, hold it down and it stays lit, then release it and it turns off immediately. That's the idea. Then this is a test graphic. The test graphic is used to see the position of our projection area. This is a way to open a calibration. It involves a button to open the test graphics, and the preview on and off mainly relates to the preview area in the lower right corner. For example, if I turn it off now, when we select a pattern, it does not show a preview while playing the material. So, when I open the selected material, it will show a preview, and we can see the preview situation. Oh, the UI follows this after we connect the console. If we enable this UI follow, we can turn pages or select the queue editor when using the console. When we see the page flipping on the control console, we also have a follow effect here, meaning that we can see which page you have flipped to and which queue you have selected. If we remove this UI follow effect, we won't be able to see in real time which page our backend has flipped to. That's how it is. Well, it cannot follow, which means this is a switch for UI follow. As for the creation effect, it is actually the same as what I just accessed in the tool. When you click into the effect editor, it will enter the effect editor. And this is the farthest right. This is a setting for the BPM software. Well, then let's take a look at the preview interface. When we click the Synchronize All Lights button, after I turn on this button, all the selected materials are synchronized. When I turn it off, I can play the material on the first laser light, then play a different material on the second laser light, and the third laser light can play something else. However, when I turn on the Synchronize All Lights option, so he can only synchronize with each light, that's what it means. Clear all means to clear all the materials I have currently selected. Yes, clear all to restore. If it automatically creates, as I mentioned earlier, when your laser light goes online and you want to project, you first need to automatically create it. This means that for the number of boxes we have online, we just need to click on automatically create and it will create several. The preview interface must be automatically created after going online. Yes. And then let's continue to take a look. When we click into the preview interface. This is a basic setting for our preview, which includes the input area. This is a stitching function, which will be introduced later. Then there is a mode switch, such as live control mode or automatic engraving mode. Within the automatic engraving mode, we can also set our NDI parameters, such as the CPU of the graphics card and the NDI sources, along with the details like the number of recognized points. And these settings, typically, we use the live control mode, which is a mode switch. Then, this is a setting for light speed attenuation. As I mentioned earlier, this is a setting for optimizing the software parameters. There isn't much here, so let's return to the laser light. If we conclude here regarding the laser light, select a box, and then when we click into it, we can see the settings for the laser light and basic information. For example, set its PPS, adjust the delay for its color, reverse the S-axis and Y-axis directions, and set the forward direction as well as the ratio of red, green, and blue colors. Most importantly, you can set its subnet and universe along with our address code. Well, this is information about the settings for the laser light, and our IP address can be renamed here. For example, I can change it to the upper right corner. Once we confirm our name change, we can make identifications here when you have many units. When there are many boxes, you can label them to prevent mistakes. And the projection area is the one we have selected. For example, if we select this box and double click to enter, there is a calibration area here where we can calibrate our projection area. For example, let me go through the tutorial now so we can confirm this. Oh, the y-axis is reversed. We need to reverse it. Application. Good. Anyway now. Oh, he selected 2 points because I want to adjust this point separately, and then it goes like this. Then I move the X over separately. My current projection area tutorial is like this. Let's take a look at the preview and see the light. As you can see, we have produced a test pattern, and it has been successfully calibrated. The pattern we output will also be based on the settings of our projection area. And of course, we can double click to enter the viewing area. By clicking on the details, we can also enter our calibration area and access the settings for the laser light. Additionally, we can double click on the laser light section to access this interface. Yes, this is a basic introduction to the software. More tutorials will be covered in other videos,